Alright, so let's make a new map, and we're going to make this tile set exterior. We're going to leave the width as 17 and the height as 13. And what that's going to do is it's going to make our canvas exactly one screen size. Now the first thing we're going to do is, since this is going to be a forest map, we're going to make event trees. And this is going to actually kind of help us out in the end. To do that, you go to tile set B here, and we're just going to select the trees piece by piece. Any of the top part of the trees we're going to set to priority as above the character, because we want the character to walk underneath that. Now once you have the first one created, you can copy and paste that and just change the graphic, because it'll take you right to the tile set. We're going to select the wider tree, and we got to do both sides of this. So we're going to have to copy this again and paste it again. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to the bottom part of the trees. Now the bottom part of the trees are just slightly different than the top part. On the bottom part, we're going to change the priority to be same as characters, because we want the characters not to be able to walk under them, but to be running into the bottom of the part of the tree. So we're going to go ahead and copy and paste all of these events really quick and finish out making our event trees. Chances are we're not going to be using the bottom part of the tree very often, but just in case we need it, it's kind of nice to have it. Once we have that done, we're going to start by framing our ceiling. Even though it's a forest, it still has a ceiling, and we're going to do that by using this Autotile right there, the tree Autotile. And I actually kind of want to bring that down maybe a little bit, like that. Alright, and then we're going to create this other side. We're just kind of going to bring that around. And the bottom. Alright. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fill in all of this, because this is just border. What we're looking for is to get this border, the ceiling border. Anything out here we're not going to map, so let's just fill all that in. Now let's go ahead and throw on our floor on the canvas. We're going to do that with that grass tile, and we're just going to fill that in, and that's going to be our floor. After that, we're going to take it to this tall grass here, and we're going to actually kind of spruce up the floor a little bit. I'm going to take that tall grass and get the pencil tool and just kind of outline where the tall grass might actually be at. And then we're going to fill that all in. And that's going to break up part of our map. But we should still break up a little bit more. So let's go back to the pencil, and then let's find another tile. Let's use this mucky tile. And we're going to kind of break this up. This is going to be, let's see, we may as well just kind of take it all the way over to here. And we're going to fill all that in, and that's going to break it up just a little bit more. Now that we got our floor kind of broken up, we got our ceiling on here, let's go ahead and put on some walls. Now we put the walls on by using the square tool. We're going to take these trunks of the trees, and we're just going to kind of drag them down here. And you got to kind of just use your perspective on this. If you feel like you need to raise your roof a little bit, don't be afraid to cut into your ceiling there. Once you get the trees in here, don't forget down here, we're going to put that there, and we're going to right click here and just end that, because that wasn't enough room to put another tree. Now that we have that, we have a pretty wide area here in the middle to do a little bit of mapping. But we still need to put in a path. So let's go back to the pencil tool. We're going to grab the path, and we're just going to bring this down. We're going to take it down. We're going to kind of dip in and bring it up, and then shoot it across there. Now that doesn't look too bad. So let's go ahead and switch over to tile set B. And we're going to start tile set B. We're going to use these plant tiles, and we're just going to kind of grab one, and we're going to stamp them down. I'm going to use this green one as kind of a, well, not on the ceiling though. I'm going to use this green one as kind of just being in the mucky area here. And then I'm going to use these flowers and kind of build up the grassy area a little bit. Sort of throw those out there. I'm going to put in some bigger flowers here as well, just for to mix it up a little bit. And then we're going to do some smaller yellow flowers as well. We'll put one of those right there and one right there. Let's put a little bit more greenery in here for the mucky area. I'm going to put that there. Yeah, that's looking okay. Now let's go ahead and we'll stick one log. I like logs and stumps, but this map isn't really lending itself to stumps very well. We could maybe stick a stump down here and kind of direct how the player's going to walk, but that cuts off pretty abruptly, so let's actually take that out. Now let's go ahead and put in some trees. Now when we're putting in trees, what we're actually trying to look at doing is we're going to break up this base area right there. So since that's on a path, we're going to not put a tree there, but we'll put one there. And don't be afraid to kind of eat into your tile, the tiles you've already laid down, your flowers and stuff. Nothing wrong with that. So we're going to put in some trees there, and then we're going to go to the larger trees, and we're actually going to add in some larger trees as well to try to kind of break it up a little bit more. Put one there. We're going to actually overlay that one. Now what happened there is we erased the base of that smaller tree. So what we can do is we can put that base back in, go to our events, and we have our event trees here. So we're going to copy the tile that we need, and we're going to paste it over the smaller tree. And that's going to give it kind of a more rounded look. Once we have that kind of finished, we're going to finish putting in our trees. So we just did that against the wall there. We need to actually put some trees in other places. So let's put one here, and that's going to break up the path. So we're going to kind of break up the path a little bit here by putting in some trees. And then we're going to do the same thing with some larger trees. Just kind of see if we can't make this path look a little bit more natural. Yeah, that tree doesn't really fit, so let's take that one back out. I think that'll be enough for the larger trees for now. So let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to put some rocks to break up our path a little bit more, because our path isn't really broken up. We've just got a couple of tree tops here breaking it up a little bit, and it'd be nice to kind of have something else. So let's put in some rocks to break up our path. Now that we have rocks in there, we got our flowers down, we can really kind of see how our forest is shaping up. What we're going to need to do is really kind of fill that out a little bit. So we have a lack of flowers here, so let's put a flower there. We have a lack of trees up here, so let's go ahead and put a tree right there. Now it's really starting to turn out pretty well, I think. Let's go ahead and scroll down. We'll see if there are any other tiles that we like here. I do like this mucky stump tile. But like I said, I don't know if this map necessarily lends itself very well to stumps. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try to finish breaking off a little bit of the base of these trees here. And we're going to do that. I really like this vine tile here because it looks like it's almost wrapping around the base of the tree as it comes up there. So we're gonna put that there, and that's gonna kind of break that up a little bit down here. I don't really like how these two are the same tiles, so we should figure something out to kind of replace that one. What we could do there is we could put one of these plants, and that kind of just breaks that up a little bit. Now let's move on. The last thing we need to do in tile set B is we need to take the top of the trees here, and you can actually put the top of the trees just against the ceiling, and it kind of breaks it up a little bit there. And that's what we're kind of trying to do, is we're going to try to break the top of this up just a little bit. Some of them, like I would like to have one there, but we can't put it there without erasing that tile behind it. So what we're going to do, let's undo that. We're going to go back to our events, and we're going to take the top of our event tree. We're just going to copy that, and we're going to paste it in anywhere that we think, I don't want to get rid of those rocks, so let's paste it in there too. Anywhere we think, you know, I like what's behind this, let's just put a tree there anyway. So that's looking pretty good. The last thing we need to do, or the last thing we're going to do, let's check tile set C. there isn't a whole lot in tile set C for us. So let's go ahead, and what we need to do is kind of diffuse how the trees touch the ground. The way we're going to do that is we're going to take the shadow tool. This is a lot of work for this map, but we're going to fill in all of the ground with shadow. And what that does, as I make my way around here, what that does is you'll see that it actually diffuses how those trees mesh with the ground. Doesn't that look a lot nicer? And then we're just going to finish doing this really quick. And I feel your pain if you're just sitting there at home watching me. Once we get our shadows put in here, then we're going to have to go back, and we'll just we're going to clean up where we kind of left the shadows against the ceiling and wall tiles here. You don't really want to have that overlap there. Most people would have probably time-stamped that, skipped that around. So now that it looks like we kind of basically cleaned up our shadows, our map's meshing pretty well, and it looks pretty decent. The bottom part here, I'm just not too keen on that. So what we're going to do is we're going to right-click on our ceiling tile, and we're just going to erase all that. Bring it over and up like that. We're going to right-click on the ground, and we're going to get rid of that plant. Now we probably should have done that before we did the shadowing, but unfortunately, not everything in life is perfect. So we'll just fix it up here really quick. Clean up the shadow. I really enjoyed having that plant in there, so let's put that plant back. Go back to the pencil tool and stamp that in there. Now I think that made our map look quite a bit better. We could probably end up dragging down some grass there, but really it's just a path, and that's really all we were trying to make.